Your best investment might be nowhere near you live. Welcome back to Milesh and Sadie Property Talk, Series 4, What Would You Do? I'm Milesh, a property developer, strategic advisor and founder of The Property Edge, helping people make better property decisions.
And I'm Sadie, founder of Sadie Pizzey Interiors, a design studio specialising in renovation and construction across residential, commercial and development projects.
So in this series, we take real scenarios and break down all of the decisions behind them.
And today's question, should you invest locally or look further afield?
So there's a few things to consider when it comes to local or further away. I guess let's start with the start, right? So how far are you prepared to travel and have you got the time to travel?
Yes.
So if you've got family, for example, actually, can you afford to drive a couple of hours to get to your investment area? Certainly at the start, you're going to need to be there quite often, pretty often, to start building relationships, understand the demand, local area knowledge, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's a factor. And then you've got local knowledge versus the wider opportunity.
Okay.
So local knowledge is going to be really, really good, i.e. where you live,
Yeah.
because you know you've lived there for lots of years or whatever, versus the whole of the UK potentially.
Yeah.
So it's just getting that balance right, which leads on to what is it that you actually want from it?
Yes. And I was going to say, is there a bit on how much you've got to invest? Because obviously, if you live down south like we do, then obviously property is a lot more expensive and it's a lot cheaper up north. So if you've only got a small pot of money, do you therefore only have up north to look at?
It depends what you want.
Okay.
More than that. So is it, if you're after income versus capital, is
Yeah.
the question you need to be asking.
Number one question.
Yeah. So that is your strategy. Is it income or is it capital? That then determines your locations,
Okay.
right? So if you've got the time, how much time have you got? How much money have you got? And what is it that you want?
Okay.
They're your three key questions that you need to be asking yourself. And then that determines your area.
Fine. So let's just give a few examples of that.
Go.
So let's just say that I want to flip and I've got, I don't know, like 200K to invest. And I'm only, I've got kids, so I've got to be back for the school run. That means I've got to stay down near.
Do you have a job or no?
I don't have a job. Let's say I don't have a job.
Okay. So you've got a solid 6-hour window.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have to do every single school run?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So I would say you could probably go up to 2 hours
Okay.
of work from where you live
Yeah.
as your investment area.
Okay.
So then you work out essentially which areas within that 1 to 2 hour drive from where you are is going to meet your needs.
Okay. And if I'm flipping, then obviously I've got to look at my ROI.
Yeah. So you're looking at different stuff, right? You want to know if you're looking to flip property, you want to know that there's enough of a market to flip the property.
Okay.
Right? Rentals are slightly different because you need to know there's rental demand.
Yeah.
Here you need to know what type of property you need to buy that you're going to be able to flip quickly.
Okay.
So you wouldn't want to go, just as a broad brush thing, you wouldn't want to go into a 5-bed house for a flip because the numbers of sales of that particular property type are likely to be lower than a 3-bed or a 2-bed terrace house.
Yes.
Or even an apartment,
Yeah.
depending on area.
Okay.
So that helps you to determine your property type.
Yeah.
So typically 3-bed houses are the ones that are shifting the most out of all the property types there are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that helps you to hone it down to property type. You then look at area, what are the sales prices, what's the history of sold prices, and then you line that up with the numbers.
Okay.
So if your 200 grand is your total investment, then what's the maximum you can purchase a property for, having taken into account deposits, fees, finance costs, and everything else?
Yes.
And that coupled with the area research you've done, you should find 2 to 3 areas.
And is that what you're trying to find? 2 to 3? Is that kind of the sweet spot?
So your initial work is doing desktop research. Within that distance that you can travel to, by property type, and then you can work out what it is that or how hard you can go, how far you can go with it.
Okay. So now just swinging this back to you, how do you approach it?
In that way.
Okay, fine.
In that way. So for us at the moment, we're looking for capital type projects. So stuff that we can add value to through planning permission or convert to residential or flips. Because it's capital, we're staying south. I don't want to travel more than an hour from where I live. So that's my area.
Okay, that makes sense. But it could be anywhere within an hour of where you live.
Correct.
Okay. But are you then finding 3 spots within that area, or it's just literally this is like an
so
hour?
Initially you just pick online. You can do this whenever you want.
Yeah.
You can just pick 10 areas that you know
Okay.
of or that look okay.
Yeah.
And then do some desktop analysis on whether that area is going to work for you. Then whittle it down to 5.
Yeah.
And then go. Then you need boots on the ground.
Okay.
Then go and talk to agents, validate, qualify everything that you've already researched.
Makes sense.
Kind of tick that box, all part of the due diligence, and then you come down to 1 to 3 areas that you can start looking in a bit harder.
Yeah.
Or depending on your experience level. So for me now, if it's within an hour of where I am, I don't mind where it is. And again, market at the moment is tougher. So I'm happy for deals to just land on my desk for me to then assess.
Yeah.
So what that does mean is I need to be really quick in doing my analysis and due diligence of that area because I might not know it as well as other areas.
Yes.
So you just condense the process to get it quicker as long as you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then that helps you to open up more opportunities.
And how much time you've got, because like we've touched on before, not every developer, it's not their sole job. Lots of people are doing it on the side.
Yep.
However, I did meet some developers at the Property Edge, which is Milesh's networking.
Excellent.
You're
Well
welcome.
done. Thanks for the plug.
And they were quite like new and fresh in the game, and they were traveling sort of 4 hours at a time to go and look at different areas and different opportunities. So if you've got that sort of drive and that amount of time and you are willing to do that much legwork, then go for gold. However, I want to now flip slightly to when you've actually then got the property.
Pardon the pun, flip.
Flip, exactly. Thank you. You've got the property and you've got to manage the refurb, imagining that you have actually bought something that needs to be refurbed. Because at that point, you really have got to have some boots on the ground. You need to be overseeing and you need to be in control of that construction work.
So, can I suggest something? So we've just done how much time you got, how much money you got, where do I invest? What type of property do I invest in? So let's just follow that theme through. So we found a property, we've got a deal.
Yes.
Now we're on to this section.
Yeah, so now we're on to that we've worked out that we're going to do some major construction work, or maybe not even major, maybe just some minor. But anyway, the fact is that we have got to come up with some plans. We've got to come up with a full scope of work. We've got to source our contractors and we've got to oversee the project.
Yeah, so have a local versus further away.
Yeah, okay. So if you're local, then you probably already know contractors or you know people that have used contractors. So big tick already.
Much more likely,
Yeah, big tick already. You already have some great referrals. It also means that you are still going to need to lean on your professionals for your plans and your scope of work and all of that. But you can be the boots on the ground overseeing. So you can be there, if not every day, you can be there multiple times a week. You can be checking in. You can be, assisting the contractors, making sure that everything is coming into fruition. So it's a kind of easier route for you.
Yeah.
You want to put something in?
Versus the further away.
So the versus the further away where you cannot attend site as much. And at that point, you need to heavily lean on your professionals. So you can't just be rocking up on site and making decisions on the fly because you're not going to be there. So everything needs to be pinned down before you start. And you need to make sure that everybody who's involved in the project, whether that's just one contractor overseeing or you've gone for separate trades, has all the drawing packages and scopes of work and the full schedule of what's going in place. So when we work on a project, whether, we work with people that are typically time poor, so that's why we come in and we help. We produce a massive Google folder. We then pin up on site big QR codes, and within that Google folder we have every single plan for every single element of the build. So let's just say it's a bathroom. We have a whole bathroom folder that has every elevation, the specification for everything that's going in, all the technical drawings, all the tile layouts, all the grout, everything. And that is the sort of detail that you need to be specifying if you are far away.
Yeah. If I'd summarize that,
Yeah.
I'd say business oversight.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So there's more pressure on that business oversight angle if you're investing further away
Yes.
versus if you're closer.
Yes.
I think there's pros and cons to both.
Okay.
Right. So I've done it, right? We've done a flip project locally, and we were much more hands-on. We were picking materials, sourcing materials, buying materials. It was quite time intense just because it was local. Versus when I was doing stuff up north, it put pressure on the oversight in that I had to be really, really clear from the off exactly what I wanted. I had to go and find builders, build relationships with builders, not just one, but a good number to make sure that I'm validating the quotes I've been given.
Yeah.
But that only works if you're clear on your spec.
Yeah.
Right? So that oversight element was really, really important. And so I got to a space where I was really clear on what I wanted. I'd then go out to the contractors to quote.
Yeah.
And then my selection for a contractor was some of it was based on their style of communication and if they communicated well enough for me or not.
I'm so glad you said that.
Even if their prices were lower, if they were bad at communicating or I foresaw any issues with that side of it, because I was investing remotely, I walked away. I've got a story about that.
Yeah.
I worked with the same builder on 2 projects.
And where were these projects?
Up north,
Okay.
4 hours away. So relationship was really good. And then I got the keys to the 3rd project. And I'd always said to him from the start, I don't like this like refurb bit. Like, just I'll give you the keys, or you can go and get them if you want from the agent. Tell me how much, how long.
Right.
Which is your work schedule, payment schedule.
Yeah.
And then off you go.
That's very trusting of you.
But we built that over the last 2 projects. Finish was good, numbers were good, and whatever. So anyway, the 3rd project came along, and we agreed the work schedule. I went there after a week, and he'd made priority taking down the lined paper, and then decided the whole house needed plastering.
Oh.
So it seemed a bit out of sync. So I then went away, and then I got a call saying, right, I've got another guy in. We'd already agreed as part of the original scope of works that all of the ceilings were going to be skimmed.
Okay.
And he said, I found another guy, my normal guy's not around, and he's quoted me like $3,500 for doing all the walls. Now, I'd done a couple of projects, so I had a bit of a flavour of costings and stuff.
Yeah.
And £3,000 for a 3-bed house was just ridiculous.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, just hold fire on that. He's like, well, we need an answer by Thursday. This was on a Monday. And I said, okay, leave it with me. And this is, I guess, one of the downsides of investing remotely. I wasn't happy with that at all because it just felt astronomical. So I made arrangements. I got there on the Thursday. I arranged for 3 separate plasterers to come round and quote.
Yeah.
And the quote I got was £1,300.
No way.
So it's a little bit different
Yeah.
from what I was originally quoted.
Yeah.
So on that Thursday, agreed, managed to get the timescales agreed and synced up with what he was doing. Said nothing, just got it done, used the other guy, and naturally the main contractor was moaning about him.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the quality
of course.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I made the final payment, handed the keys back and said, that's going to be the last time we're working together.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And the next deal I did was a 6-bed house.
Oh, wow. Did he ask why? Did he just know?
No, he knew.
Yeah.
Obviously, my attitude changed a little bit towards him. It was I was less friendly and more professional.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was quite interesting. So I guess what I'm saying is you do need to be careful because people do get a bit, oh yeah, he's from down the road, and I don't know, there's this thing of people down south have got money bags.
I would say you need to be careful on anything. I was talk about contractors where I've used contractors and they've been incredible on jobs, and we've got again to maybe the third or fourth job and something has changed and it's been a disaster zone. So you need to almost treat it like they are a new contractor every time.
Yeah. And there's a fine line between being that you wanting them to be your friend versus the professional angle. If you move too much into the friend zone, then the business stuff becomes really difficult.
It really
and
does.
That's first-hand experience. So you really need to just tread the line carefully, firm but fair, and you're not setting out to be their best mate.
I'm so glad you said that because
Thanks.
that is number one that I say to clients, because if sometimes clients will say, oh, have you got some referrals? And we do recommend contractors, but they are contracted directly to the client. So we say it's really important that you meet, we'll put some forward, maybe ask some local neighbours. But what I say is look at how they communicate with you. That goes from when you first make contact, how quickly are they coming back to you? When you meet on site, get a feel. Do you feel like they're making contact? Do you feel like they're listening to your list of requests? Are they coming back with ideas, or are they just talking over you? And then how quickly are they bringing back that quote? Some don't even quote.
Yeah.
I've had clients say, well, I've chased and chased for this quote. If you're chasing and chasing for a quote, what does this say about them once they're on site?
And then you get a WhatsApp message with one number on it.
Yeah, 100%. If I'm having to chase for a quote, you're not the contractor for me, because I want to know that communication-wise, when you're on site, within a few hours, you're coming back to me. It's so important.
And during the build as well, that's really important.
Yeah.
So again, through learnings, right, my kind of rules were I want a payment schedule and a work schedule.
Yeah.
And the two to be aligned.
Yeah.
Once we've agreed what the work is and what's involved. I was happy for them to go and source materials, because trying to do that remotely, despite the discounts you might get, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So you need to take the hit on that.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want is mid-build, you getting a phone call from 4 hours away saying, oh, by the way, this thing you ordered hadn't turned up and I need it now.
Yes. And being on the other end of that, because we source a lot for our clients, you have to be so on top of managing it. We have spreadsheets just to track like what's been ordered, what's on site, what's gone lost, what's got deficiencies. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So then, so at the outset, we're agreeing a work schedule, and I'm making it very clear that your payment schedule is going to be aligned to your work schedule. And because of the distance and the fact that I couldn't get there every week, which would have been ideal, but distance just didn't allow, every Thursday I would get FaceTime and a load of pictures and an update verbally on what's going on. And then and only then would payment be made on a Friday.
That sounds like you got it nailed.
Yeah, and so it gives you an opportunity to have a conversation with them. It gives you the opportunity to check in against your work schedule, and if stuff's changed, because let's be honest, you put stuff in work schedules and they sign up to it, they will do something just because it's easy or whatever. So you've got to have some allowance for that, right? Because they're on site. The old phrase of you don't know what you don't know until you get in there and all of that. So you've got to factor a little bit of that in. But as long as on the whole you're comfortable that it's progressing in the way you want to the timescale that you want, then it's a bit of flexibility there.
Yes.
But having that process, that oversight is absolutely critical. And people will take advantage as well.
Yes.
Because you're further away.
Because you're further away.
A story about that, which I'll share in a bit.
But what I would say is, if you compare the two together, so even if you have got a local project, if you still do all of that work, then your local project will be so much easier and so much more efficient.
Yes. And it boils down to how you value your time.
Yeah.
So on reflection, did I want to be going to, building merchants to go and pick stuff up? Did I want to be online looking for materials and finding the best price and all of that stuff? Probably not.
No.
But because it was local, it was easier to just sign up to that.
I know.
Having now done that, I don't think I'd do it again.
And also, it depends how many projects you're juggling.
Correct.
And if you're, again, like we go back to, not everybody's doing this as their full-time job.
Yeah.
So if you're time poor, you don't want to do that. And actually, if you use us, we create a full cost spreadsheet and we create this full specification of everything that goes in. So you know all the costs up front. So you know, oh, this tile is this per square meter. This is what this bathroom's costing me. You've then got the time to analyse that before you get into the actual development and make adjustments.
I actually think investing further away gives you really good discipline to future-proof your business.
Yeah.
Because you can't do certain things.
No.
And so, yes, there's more pressure on the relationships and trusting people. But if you're in that area for the long haul, then it's great because you are going to be forced to be at arm's length with it.
Yes.
And then you realise what you do need and what you don't need.
Yeah.
In terms of importance as well. Right. So I actually think it can be a good thing if you're looking to just kind of grow and scale. For the first one or two, if your knowledge base isn't there on how a refurb works and all that, yeah, you're trusting these guys quite a lot. But that's why you need to get 3 or 4 or 5 different contractors in, take their ideas in, and then come up with something if you absolutely have to, if you don't have the knowledge. But it does put more pressure on that. But I still think in the long run, it's good to have that oversight and have the business systems process.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you're right, you have to have the right contractors, but you also have to have all the right drawing packages and specifications.
Yeah.
So you some of that you could do yourself, 100%, but you also have got to bring in the professionals to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I think as well, local is more comfortable, isn't it?
yeah, it is because, you know, but you're right though. You don't want to end up leaning on the fact that, oh, I could just wander to site and then, oh, if I don't like what they've done, I'll make some changes, because all of that is costly, both on your time and your ROI. So you've got to treat it as a professional business. And in any professional business, you would have come up with all your strategy and, you know, all your spreadsheets and everything before you started. So the same still applies.
Yeah. 100%. Business first, property second. I think I've said that before.
I've never heard of it, ever. And the other thing I'd say is that depending on the size of the project, you still might need professionals overseeing, because you're right. Okay, say you've bought a 2-bed terrace.
Yeah.
You've got a contractor that you're comfortable with. The work is minimal. You can do like you did, a FaceTime once a week. But if you've got a sizable, say you're doing like multiple duplexes within a building.
You need a project manager.
Yeah, you need a project manager.
And they're your best friend.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Definitely. Because they're the ones doing the oversight and the boots on the ground stuff is what you're paying them to do.
Yeah.
So they need to be doing that.
Yeah.
Project manager and QS.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Great. So
Hot seat.
shall we go into our hot seat? Right. We live in Surrey where numbers are tight. Should we invest to hold locally or look north? So very much in line with our topic today. We don't know any figures.
That's fine, I think.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you just need to listen to the episode.
Yeah, and also, what is it you want?
Yeah, what do you want? That's
So
true,
it's a
because it doesn't say if it's a flip or a hold.
Yeah, so 3 key things: how much time you got, how much money you got, and what do you want? Is it income or capital? They're the 3 key questions, and once you understand that, that will massively help you determine whether you stay local or go up north.
Yes.
Definitely.
Do you know what? I don't think people do enough work in those early questions. What do you think the order is? First of all, you've got to decide what you want, and that's what you want out of life, basically. Like, are you trying to grow like some actual cash right now, or do you want to have a portfolio?
I think it depends. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about property or not.
No.
If you go into any business, you need to assess how much time you've got.
Yes.
You need to assess what investment you've got.
Yeah.
And then you've got to work out why and what you want from it.
Yeah.
Right. So they're the key 3 fundamentals of business within property as well.
Yeah.
So you need to apply it into your property business.
Yeah.
Look at it from a business perspective at the start, rather than I'm just going to buy that deal and then I'm going to buy the next deal. And the next deal and the next deal.
Yeah.
So those 3 key questions will help you to determine where you go and how far.
There we go.
That was nice, short and sharp, but full of value, right?
Value.
So it's not really about local versus distance. It's about control and execution.
And whether you maintain quality, especially when it comes to design decisions.
Because that's where value is often won or lost.
So if you are working on a project locally or remotely and want support making sure the design is executed properly, we would love to help.
And if you're thinking about where to invest and how to structure that, feel free to reach out.
If you've enjoyed this episode, then don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on socials. And if you have a question for the hot seat, then leave in a comment below. And we'll see you in the next episode.